Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Post Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Someone told me one time that I hum all the time. Are you are you a hummer?
I'm a whistler.
Whistler.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Got a hummer and a whistler on this morning.
That's right.
Do you have a nickname for the Jeep? Like you could call the Jeep the Whistler.
Probably the money pit.
The money pit.
That's what my wife would call it.
Old Yeller. I saw you yesterday, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was you until you turned.
Yeah, I was like telling this guy in the Jeep, "Come on, get on with it, man." And then I was like, "Oh, that's my pastor." No, I'm just kidding. One of the best phrases as a Christian. Here's a good phrase that you can use. You don't want any type of, what do they call it? Aggressive drivers. What are
road rage.
Here's how you limit road rage. As a Christian, don't have it. Think of biblical things to say. I heard from a particular pastor of a church one time. You may or may not know him, Jason, a guy that I think we both know. We were waiting on a car in front of us, and I remember this person distinctively saying, "Come on, are you waiting for Moses to part the Red Sea?" So I don't know if you remember riding with that guy or not, but it was a pretty good drive that day. And I thought of that last night because I was Fox Nation is actually a really cool app. And, I'm not going down a political train. I know some people watch CNN, some people watch Fox News. But someone had turned me on to that Fox Nation app. There's actually a lot of really good non-political programming on there and a lot of faith-based programming. There's a new series out, and I don't know if you've seen it, Jason. If not, I'll encourage you to watch it. It's really good. It's called The Bible. And it's just an episode-by-episode depiction and reenactment of everything that happened in the Bible.
Wow. I'll have to check that out.
It's really good. I learned, though, that there are some scenes in there because, it depicts things that happen. And so there are some scenes in there, obviously, you don't want to have little children watching.
Yeah.
When Abraham took his son Isaac for the offering, there was a scene there that's like, and I didn't realize it was anything like that was happening. Well, I had to turn it off because Braylon's like, "What's he doing, Daddy?" And I was like, "Oh, they're going hunting, sweetheart." And then I I was like, Bridget, let's take Braylon into the other room real quick. Actually, the TV paused and then it flipped over to Blippy or something like that, So, anyways,
You lost that one, huh?
yeah, I lost that battle pretty quick. We do want to welcome you in as we get rolling. Hey, some exciting news today, Jason. Today is episode number 450.
450. Wow.
It's been a
Backing 'em
journey.
up.
It's been a journey, and you've been here for a good amount of those here. I guess when did first come on? Has it been about 7-8 months now?
I don't even know.
It's been a hot minute, and but we're rocking and rolling. We appreciate everybody for joining us, for being a part of the platform, and we do want to say thank you for 450 episodes. I had mentioned yesterday that the first year of business is always tough. The second year is really hard. Mm-hmm. Third year is tough as well. But once you're established after about 3 years, you can get some momentum behind you. And Jason, I'm so thankful to this community because we still have new people that are joining that hadn't even heard about it. Mm-hmm. And we're so thankful for that.
Well, there's always going to be a need for local news, and just commenting on what's going on in our community, I think is so important. Media has changed so much that it's really hard to find what's going on in local communities. So I'm thankful for this platform.
It's good to have news you can use also on a Thursday.
I don't know how much you can use it, but maybe it'll generate some discussion.
Well, again, we do want to welcome you in. As always, big thank you to Elliot Herzlich. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go see my good friend Elliot Herzlich. We had him on the show just a couple of days ago, on Tuesday, in fact, and sharing more about the Heart for Casa fundraiser. That is going very well. We do want to encourage you for a suggested donation of only $40. We encourage more, but if you can do $40, that's great. But a minimum $40 donation will get you a beautiful bag of jewelry. Hey, we have a new guy over here. Joshua's in studio today. He's observing, but I'm going to put him to work. Joshua, can you hand us one of those red bags real quick?
All right.
This is great. I don't have to get up anymore to do stuff.
Yeah, that's neat.
Thank you, Joshua. So this is what you'll get, $40 suggested donation. Guys, if you haven't done your Valentine's shopping yet, you can what is it, like kill two birds with one stone right here. One time I said you could kill two stones with one bird. But there's some beautiful jewelry in here. It may be earrings, maybe a necklace. It's kind of a mystery box of jewelry, but beautiful jewelry is in here. In fact, this one, I don't like giving away the secrets. This one, look at these beautiful earrings there, Jason.
Yeah, those are nice.
Beautiful earrings here. These are valued at $95.
Golly.
So you've got 2 earrings in here. All right, there's that box. Also in here, some jewelry cleaner. Mm-hmm. Look at that, man, it's in a nice case too.
Yeah.
Some jewelry cleaner here.
Yeah.
What else we got in there, Jason?
Well, this is what I think is awesome because you said it's a recommended donation of $40.
Yes,
correct?
Sir. Yep.
Well, here's a redeemable rose vase and roses from Hartfield Florist.
Yeah, nice.
And that's $20 value right there. Just in that one.
Those are beautiful. And a Valentine's card.
In here. I already have the card. Some candy, and
oh yeah, take a whiff at this thing real quick. Are you a candle? Are you a candle guy?
I love candles. Who doesn't?
Oh man,
yeah.
That one's pretty good.
It's like roses.
This one I wish smelled like my water coming out of the faucet, but it doesn't. I had a water. Anyways, I'll get into that story. Man, we got a lot of stories here. But anyways, a suggested donation of only $40 will get you all of these wonderful gifts.
That's a deal.
Huge deal. And the great news about this, every single dime that you donate, not only are you going to get this great Valentine's bag, but every single dime that's raised will go directly to our friends at CASA.
Oh yeah, what a great organization. Child advocacy group, so needed in our community and every community.
You can get more information on that and how to place that order or that donation rather on our website at hellohuntsvilletx.com. Jason, a couple things to share with you this morning. One, I just mentioned water odor. Mm-hmm. I had no idea we were going to talk about this morning. That's what I love about what we do. No idea. I've had a rain soft water softener system that has been in storage for about 4 years. Well, I never drain the tanks. I don't know if you can or you can't, but it's a lot of work because you have to disassemble everything. Yeah. Well, this thing had been in storage. Let me give you the rundown. We sold the house back in 2021, and officially made the move to Huntsville. Well, Home Depot had got me. These sales guys never get me. I've only been gotten twice. One was a Traeger dealer at Costco. It was too good of a deal to pass up. Those pellet grills.
Yeah.
And that thing, I use it. It's been well worth it. It's paid for itself time and time again. And the second one was a guy from Sweetwater Home Water Systems at Home Depot. He showed up to the house, and because you fill out a thing, get a free water sample. Well, of course, they're always going to tell you it's bad. Well, it was city water, not knocking the sea, but it's always full of a lot of stuff. He comes to the house, Jason, and here's what sold me. He has a bowl of water, and he brought a portable version of their filter system, and then he took water directly out of the tap. And he said, "Give me 2 washcloths out of your linen closet." So I did 2 washcloths. So I forget what it is in the science world, but the variables hadn't changed. They were both the same. I know there's a word for that. I forget what it is, but both of them were the same. Yeah, control. See, I knew you. This is why I like Jason being here, because I'm in college. I have no idea what I'm even talking about. So the control was the same. He takes one of the cloths. And again, he fills one bowl of water with tap water. He fills another bowl of water with tap water that's been ran through their filter. He takes one of the cloths, dips it into the city water. All right. Then he has a clear glass bowl. He squeezes that water out. It's disgusting. I never realized it. The water is kind of milky. It's just all the gunk that's in the water. And what it really was when he squeezed that washcloth, it was all of the I forget what you call it, but like all the laundry detergent and stuff that was in there.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Watch this." And he took that same cloth and he ends up dumping it in his water, squeeze it out, and the water was almost clear. And he says because that filtered water, it holds on to the particles of the cloth and keeps that conditioner and that laundry detergent and those kind of things in your laundry, so it's fresher, it's cleaner. I never really understood all that. And then he does another thing. He takes a cup of water, clear as day, I thought, from the faucet, pours it into a glass, and it's got a little bit of floating stuff. City water has that from time to time.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Taste this." And I taste it, and I'm like, and I told him, I said, "Dude, I don't ever drink out of the faucet." He goes, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because it's city water. You don't drink city. If you had a well, I would drink it, even though it's okay to drink, right?"
Right.
And I'm not bashing the city, but it is what it is. And then he goes, "Here, drink." And he goes, "Here, drink the water now." And he ran it through his filter. It tastes better than the Nestle bottled water. And he goes, "That's what the water softener will do for you." And I was like, "Man, sold." Because I don't want that nasty water in my house. And all of our faucets had that white calcium built up. Once we did that and we cleaned the faucet, we never again had any of those hard water problems. Long story short is, this was on like a monthly payment plan for this water system. And they put a lien on your home. Not in a bad, sometimes people put a lien because it's a bad thing. This was just because they want to ensure that they get their money.
Yeah.
So that was part of the deal. You had to sign this, and then they said, "We're going to put a lien just to make sure that if you ever sell the house." Well, the day came where we sold the house, and I still owed a couple $1,000s on this water system. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I asked the realtor, "Does this bring any value to the house?" She goes, "No, not really." I said, "Then I'm taking it. If we're going to pay for it, I'm taking it." So my father-in-law came over, we cut the pipes, and we redid another water loop, and we took it whenever we left. It was in storage for a couple of years. We moved to Huntsville. And we had a rent house. I never hooked it up there. Obviously, I'm not going to dig around in the rent house and start messing with their pipes. Well, you know where I'm going with this. I finally got it installed at our house. It's taken me a week. I had to cut away a lot of sheetrock. I've learned how to use PEX piping, which is cool. I feel like I've been the plumber lately.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I ripped and I had to find the main water line in the house. It was actually kind of difficult to find. And then once I found it, we have a manifold, and it's really cool. It's like an electrical outlet where you can control water to each valve. It's the new way they do it. I found out they installed it incorrectly, but it worked to my advantage because it was a lot easier to install this water softener. So long story short, got the water softener installed. Wasn't without some grunting last night because my tool broke halfway through. Home Depot was already closed. So finally about 11 o'clock last night, I turned on the water. Nothing leaked, praise the Lord, and the softener is working. Here's where the stinky water situation comes in. Can you guess why the water wasn't smelling too good at first?
I guess because of the the system and didn't have enough cleansing to go through
Yeah,
the water.
and there was still water in there from
Yeah.
4 years ago. So, anyways, we got it all flushed out. I put this cleaner. There's a brine well. There's the brine and then the brine well. The brine is where you put the salt. The brine well is a tube that water runs through, and it's really weird. I'm starting to feel like I'm becoming a water guy now.
But really, you need to be the salesman already.
but there's resin beads in the tanks, and those resin beads is what attracts all that nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's got to be flushed out every once in a while. And so the brine well and the brine with that salt, that's what helps flush that out. So anyways, I dumped stuff in there, cleaned it out, ran it through about 15 minutes. I tasted the water at first, and I was like, I'm not going to make it on the show today because I probably contracted Ebola. Don't drink it right away. But this morning, everything was good, and there we are. Got it installed.
So how often do you have to put salt in that?
Usually, when I did it before, I think it was like once every 3 months. It's not
that's
often,
not bad.
2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it regenerates every week. And the regen process is where it flushes out all the bad stuff and then it regenerates it.
Kind of like backwashing a pool pump or something.
Yeah, kind of like that, or kind of like, backwashing when your daughter drinks your Dr. Pepper, and gets it. But anyways, that looks like a nightmare.
Golly, that is intense, Rob.
Yeah, and think of every little band that you see there is a potential failure point. But yeah, it was. And I ended up having to cut away a little board down there because the good folks who installed the water line in the house didn't leave you much room because they decided to put a board,
Golly, you got a lot of joints there.
Yeah, it would have been, and the reason you see so many is I wanted to create. These are bypass. If you look, there's 4 little black valves at the top. Mm-hmm. So those are bypass valves on their own. Mm-hmm. The bypass means you can turn those, and then it bypasses the tanks.
Right.
Well, I wanted to be double sure, and so I went ahead and built another bypass valve on my own.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
So, anyways, yeah, and thank goodness. I was so nervous, Jason. I turned that thing on. I said, there's going to be water all in the garage. And we were good to go. So
that's pretty neat. I like that.
So, yeah, if we ever need plumbing work, holler at me.
Yeah, do. Come
on
over.
It may be 10% good, but, it's 90% chance that it'll fail, Yeah.
Looks great. Looks professional.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
wow, that's the big – man, that thing's big.
Yeah, it was – that's why I wanted to keep it, right? When we got this thing, I was like, I'm not going to let that go to waste.
And where does that – that's your utility room or something?
Yeah, it's in the garage.
Oh, the garage. Okay. Yeah,
so,
man.
Anyways, don't let the city of Huntsville get a hold of me because I don't know if I have that permit for that or not. I did it right, Huntsville. So. All right, we got a good show lined up today. Big thank you to First Baptist for being here. Pastor Jason Bay. We'll share some inspiration and some great things the Lord is doing here at our church and throughout this community. Rob Mason also joining us. Trying to think of a good description of Rob Mason. There's so many good words that I can think of, but he's saying crazy Rob over here.
Crazy Rob.
No, Rob is he's a very talented man, and I wanted him to come on this morning, share a little bit of his testimony. He's got an incredible story that I think is going to resonate with folks. Very talented man as well. Plays a lot of music, especially a lot of our senior centers around the area, and just an inspiration to so many people. So we'll have Rob on in a little bit as well. Jason, I know I've been talking a ton. Sorry, I'm going 100 miles an hour this morning.
You're good.
I want to share one other story with you real quick, and I'll let you chime in on this.
Yes.
I don't remember many of my dreams. Do you remember dreams?
No, I don't remember dreams. My wife, she does, and she's always quick to tell me them. She told me this morning she had a weird dream of our dogs. She goes, "You ever have one of those dreams that just doesn't make sense?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"No, not really. I really wish I dreamed more because that would mean that I was sleeping soundly. But the dog decided to bark all night long last night, so sleep was at a minimum." But she's like, "I had the weirdest dream." She goes, "I dreamed the dogs were swinging from the trees like monkeys." All right.
Is that what you woke up?
Maybe that's because the one was barking all night.
Oh, that's great. I like how it's like
so random.
Yeah, it's like the dogs were swinging in the trees.
That sounds like such a pleasant dream, doesn't it?
My mother dreamed one time, and she told me, "Mom, if you're watching, I'm telling it." She said, "Don't you ever tell anybody this." So whenever your mother tells you that, you have to repeat it, right? She goes, "Don't you ever tell anybody this. People think I'm crazy." She in the Nintendo 64, we had the old school Atari, and then like the Commodore 64 and all that jazz, but when the Nintendo 64 came out, that thing was incredible. 3D graphics, a whole new. Well, my
Game
mom,
changer.
well, she told me one time, she goes, son, I got to, don't you ever tell anybody because they'll think I'm crazy. I dreamed that I was in that Mario land on that new Nintendo 64. She goes, but instead of Mario, she goes, it was me flying around. She goes, everything else was the graphics, like the system,
right.
the cartoonish look, except me. I was real. She goes, I was in the clouds. I said, Mom, did you take some Benadryl before you went to sleep?
She should have made a movie out of that, because I can promise you there's been at least one movie made about where you go into a video game. She was ahead of her time.
She was, yeah. So, Mom, I had to share that this morning. Definitely not crazy. It was a good dream, and I remembered it. But I had a weird dream last night, Jason. And
All right.
I'll briefly share this one. It was on it was weird. For some reason, the beginning that I can remember is somehow Huntsville connected to like a downtown metropolitan area very quick. And it didn't make any sense because there was someone riding in a bus, and you were with me, have no idea who this person in the bus was, and they said a comment of like, wow, I didn't realize the state capitol was on this road. But here's what didn't make any sense. Well, the state capitol's in Austin, right? And it was literally, we like left the church parking lot and you turn down and all of a sudden it's like Congress Avenue and there's the state capitol.
Yeah.
I know why I thought of that because I was reading something last night about our state rep, Trey Wharton, good friend, great guy. And so I figured that's got to be the connection of why I thought of the state capitol. But then here was the really weird part. My dreams are scattered like my brain, man. All of a sudden we look over to the right and there, out of nowhere, is the Alamo Dome. Well, where's the Alamo Dome? San Antonio. So why was it I saw the state capitol, and then all of a sudden it felt like we were in San Antonio as I looked to the right, and then you look back and you're in Austin. I'm telling you, man, this was a weird dream. We were in this bus, Jason. You were there. You were sitting behind me and to the right. You had on a blue Cowboys T-shirt and a Cowboys baseball cap.
This has turned into a nightmare.
I looked over and I told you, I said, Jason, did you realize they really built that Alamo Dome to attract an NFL team in San Antonio? That was the purpose, the sole purpose for that arena was to attract. If you go back and look, and that they wanted to attract an NFL team, never came, and so we started having a discussion, and it turned into a debate about who's the true Cowboy fan. And I said, Jason, if the Dallas Cowboy, if there was a football team that ever came to San Antonio, I said I would relinquish my Cowboy support and immediately become a San Antonio football fan. The reason I thought of this is there was a time where the Oakland Raiders owner was looking potentially at moving the team to the Central Texas area. His investment group had actually purchased about 100 acres of land outside of Austin. So there was speculation that they were going to build a stadium and build a football team outside of Austin, between Austin and Buda. This was news when I was in the Central Texas area. Everyone was excited, like, man, we're going to have a stadium around here. It'll be an Austin NFL team. That didn't come to pass. Then there was news that it may become the San Antonio Raiders. And the city of San Antonio was pushing for this. They thought they would finally get their NFL team. It would have fit in perfectly with the Spurs, silver and black, right?
Yeah.
So we got into this debate about this, Jason, and I was saying I would relinquish my Cowboys support immediately and become a San Antonio Raiders football fan. You got into an argument with me, and you go, well, you're not even a Cowboys fan to begin with. You're just going to give up on them like that. So I wanted to know your thoughts, Jason. Would you relinquish, in real life, would you relinquish your Cowboys support and become a San Antonio Raiders fan?
I'm about ready to relinquish my Cowboys support, regardless of no team moves to San Antonio. I'm so disappointed with the Cowboys. Now, I followed them this long. I guess that I'll continue, but I really am disappointed with the direction the team seems to be going. But it's been 30 years, so it's nothing new. But it's just the same old story gets tiring. But I love your incorporating me into your dream. Maybe we're spending way too much time together.
I don't know why I dreamed that. I think you know what it was. You were telling me you'd never been to a Cowboys game.
Yeah,
I was talking to Bridget, and I were in a discussion, and I think that's what happened. Was
we need to go.
I was discussing. I said, that'd be cool to get a bunch of guys from church together.
We should.
And I'd mentioned to you, and this
road
was
trip
2 nights ago. That's why I thought that's why you popped up in his dream. So
that's awesome. I love it.
So, anyways, not as cool as dogs swinging though.
But if that would have been a great thing. I mean, thinking back, man. I mean, of course, now they're in the Raiders moved to Las Vegas, and they have a tremendous support there. You know, Tom Brady is one of their owners there, so they're talking about really revitalizing that organization. They just got the new coach, Pete Carroll, and their offensive coordinator is what's that guy that used to coach in Oregon, the college coach, Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly, okay.
Yeah, he's their offensive coordinator. So. But that would have been so cool to have another NFL team in Texas. But too bad that didn't come to pass.
Nope, and too bad Art Briles didn't get to get the head coaching job of the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
I could see it now. One last ride. What was that? What was that? That one player that was like, "Let's ride." Who was that? You remember that? An NFL player?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We were making fun of that on our sports show, The Insiders, up in Fargo. So that was our intro. We'd always come on, and as soon as we'd come on after the intro, we'd be like, "Let's ride." And I forgot what it was, man.
That's good.
All right. Well, hey, rocking and rolling. We will have Rob Mason on here in just a few moments. We do want to welcome you. And do us a favor this morning, too. Please hit like and share as we continue to talk about dreams and dogs swinging outside and real life people flying around in video games and bashing the Cowboys, all that and more here on the show today. We will get to some more great stuff happening in Huntsville. For now, let's step aside, take a break. I've got a Cafe Texan gift card we want to give away today, $25 to Cafe Texan. And in honor of Valentine's Day, the keyword, Jason?
Love.
Love is the keyword. Or as Mayor Humphrey would say, and he joins the show from us, he's got that Kool-Aid voice, that, oh, yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Mayor Humphrey, we needed your voice on this because he would say, if I said mayor, the keyword is, he would say, love. That's the keyword, so text that in on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line, 936-339-0139. Again, that number is 936-339-0139. As always, we are here this morning on a very thankful Thursday, brought to you by First Baptist. Come see us. We'd love to have you. 9:30 Bible study, 10:45 service, and a great series going on. We'll talk more about that in just a few moments as well. For now, though, we'll step aside. We'll take a break. More to come as we continue on. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us, please.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted, family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Elevate your business image with prestigious move-in ready suites ranging from 150 to 3,000 square feet. Enjoy conference and training rooms, furnished and unfurnished options, custom build-outs, phone service, and a welcoming lobby. Coffee bar and dining area included for tenants. Benefit from 24/7 secure access and flexible lease terms. Located on Lake Road. Move-in begins in January. Contact Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
Dreams come to life, Jason.
Yes, that's the dog swinging from the trees. She said swinging from the trees like monkeys, but she really meant swinging from trees with swings.
This one on the right's a little heavier. They have a heavy-duty bracket there. Look how the AI even put like a vest on them to hold them in place.
Yeah, they're covering all their bases. That dog's not going to get hurt.
That looks real, too. That's scary, isn't it? Scary real.
No, it's awesome. I love it.
Oh, man.
That does look like our house.
Too much. This AI is getting to be too much, friends. Welcome back as we continue on this morning. Camera's still off because we got a special guest we're about to swing your way. Before we do, though, as you're joining us, we always like to give you – how about 33 degrees? Boy, we're 1 degree away from freezing.
Yeah, it was cold this morning.
48 today and sunny tonight, cloudy 39, tomorrow 56, rain in the forecast for Saturday. We'll be back up in the 70s, though. And so a brief winter spell. Jason, I was hoping that we'd have one more big snow.
Not me.
Well, hey, he's been patiently waiting. We don't have the official air horn anymore. That thing, someone stole it. I cannot find my horn. But we are proud to welcome in none other than the Rob Mason. What's up, Mr. Mason?
Nice to be here with Rob Squared.
Good to see you. Rob is a new member of the church here. We just love you and your family, and so great to have you all. But you have an incredible story. Jason, we're so thankful. You know, Rob came in, and he and his family have just hit the ground running. It's great to have folks like that.
Absolutely. Rob's talented in so many ways, and it's always, people are so interesting because if you just stop and listen, everybody has a unique story, and Rob is no different for sure. God has used you and is continuing to use you.
Rob, I wanted to kind of dig in this morning. Just let us know, kind of a Cliff's Notes version of just a little bit of your story and your testimony, because the things you were telling me were just incredible about how God has worked in your life, and I think your story can resonate with someone. So give us the Rob Mason story this morning.
All right.
And by the way, Rob has a great voice, so
just trying to keep up with the other Rob. Yeah, I tell you, life was didn't start out real great for me. My father left my mother. They got divorced about the time I was born, and so I had my mother and my two older sisters raising me. And my oldest sister was Down syndrome. My middle sister was borderline genius, I guess. She kind of walked past a book and memorized it.
Oh, wow.
Get one of those.
Yeah.
And then there was me, the class clown. I actually flunked the 5th grade, and the teacher had my mother come in, and she said, well, the problem is Rob really can't read. He just can't read. Well, when you hear that as a 5th grader, you think, why should I try? Well, a few years later, I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I opened my Bible, and I thought, well, this time I'm going to read out loud. And I started reading, and I was reading as fast as I could talk. It scared the living socks off of me. I'm like, Lord, I'm not supposed to be able to do this. And a voice very clearly said, Rob, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Yeah, 4th of Philippians 4:13.
Yes.
Yep.
And I said, all things? I tell you, in junior high, I suited out for football and ran on the track team. Never played a single down in junior high. By the time I got to high school, I had really embraced what the Lord had told me. And ultimately, I became a 3-year football letterman, set 4 school track records.
Wow.
Which is amazing since I did nothing a few years earlier in junior high. And people began to tell me at that time, Rob, it's like everything you touch turns to gold. And it was almost embarrassing. Not totally, but it was sure. Really, as I look back, it's like one miracle after another, after another, after another. And I have been so blessed by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It really, truly, truly is amazing. By the time I got to my senior year of high school, I was selected as one of the 2 most outstanding students in the state. Went to the United States Senate Youth Program in Washington, D.C., where, of course, I got to meet President Nixon, Vice President Agnew, all my senators and congressmen, have lunch with them. It was just an amazing experience.
Wow.
So, and then my life just started getting better.
But there's a story to this, and this is why I wanted you to share this, because there's somebody out there that maybe, is kind of in the same boat, Rob, thinking, everything's been going great. But there was an impression on your life that you said to me that you felt so distinctively that something was going to happen to you. Lead into that and tell us about that.
Absolutely. For some strange reason, all of my life growing up, I knew that I was going to die at a very young age. I mean, there was a presence that said, you better get this all done now because you're going to die very young. And it was perpetual. And I ended up in the Army, was a helicopter pilot and an air traffic controller, and one day we ended up hitting power lines at 150 feet off the ground, flipped upside down, came in, nose on the pedo tube right on the edge of the tree, and I climbed out, first of all, I did body check. You look down and you're like, am I still alive? And I saw I was strapped in, so I released and shot up past my boss, who was in the left-hand seat, and got out. He got out, and flight surgeon later told us, he says, I can give you 10 literal reasons why you're a dead man and only one why you're alive, and that's the grace of God. So after that feeling of early doom has left me. And a couple weeks ago, I turned 75 years of age.
There you go. Praise God. Praise God.
Man.
Yeah.
What a story.
Well, I think, Jason, God works in such amazing ways. And everything, I always say this, that just the fact of getting up in the morning and taking a breath is a miracle in itself. Look at a guy like Rob. Rob, when did you first turn to the Lord? When was that impression for you to say, when did you accept Christ? When did you turn to the Lord?
I don't know exactly how old I was. I think it was around 11 years old. And our church, the Bible Church of Little Rock, did not have a baptism, so we went to the Baptist church and got baptized. And so I have known the Lord virtually all my life. So I really lived the Christian life from almost seemingly day one. And boy, he has blessed me for that. Never smoked, never drank, never did drugs, You know, the first time I even tasted alcohol, I think I was 34 years of age and didn't like it, fortunately.
Yeah. What is a message that you would have to somebody? You know, maybe somebody out there is watching today and they're new to the Christian faith and new to the journey. You know, you've described how the Lord has just blessed you tremendously, and I know that you give him all the glory for it.
Yes.
But maybe what's that message that you would have to somebody that maybe isn't a believer, or maybe someone who's thinking about becoming a believer?
Well, there's only one reason for being placed on earth, quite frankly, and it's not just to live this life here on earth. We have the opportunity for eternal life in heaven.
Amen.
Forever and ever and ever, which we can't even comprehend. But we will be with the Lord Jesus Christ if we believe in him and accept him as our personal Savior. And I'm so happy that my mother had me in church every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, from the time I was born, basically. And it gave me a good foundation of who Jesus Christ is. And once you accept him, just by a simple faith, just understanding and believing and saying, Lord, I don't know what you can do with this life, but I'm willing to give it to you because I want you to lead my life. I'm screwing it up myself. So if a person can just understand that Jesus Christ came and died for them personally,
Amen.
And turn and ask the Lord to turn their life around, he can surely do it. If he can do it with this class clown, he can do it.
Well, Rob, you know, there's so many things about you. Jason and I, you know, we're talking about this too. You're very talented in so many different areas, and one thing is music. Tell us a little bit about the music journey and, you know, your passion for going and just bringing joy to so many people through music.
Yes. I was at a very young age in junior high. I got a 12-string Ovation guitar and went and tried to get some lessons. Thought, the heck with this. I'm not learning anything. I'll teach myself how to play, which I did. And then I started writing songs through junior high and high school and college. I've written about 75 songs. And when I was in college, when I was in the Army in Waco, I ended up thinking, well, I'd like to send maybe 4 of my songs I've written to Word Records in Waco, and maybe somebody else would want to pick one up and sing it. So I mentioned that to a few people. I'll shorten the story, but come to find out the guy at the music store was a concert pianist who had a friend who was a rock drummer, and he had a friend who was a country western bass guitarist, and then there was me, the folk guitarist. We got together in the church. They had just had a new studio put in Waco, and we recorded those 4 songs, and they were so excited about them. They said, let's not stop here. What else have you written? And it was so incredible to me because I'd start playing a song, and before I'd even finished the first verse, the pianist was hitting every note and making all these fabulous piano runs. I mean, it made me sound really good. So we decided to do an album. They said, we got to do an album. I'm like, okay. So we did 10 songs that I had written. It was called Cornerstones, and I sold it where I sang or basically gave it away at churches, chapels in the military, because I wasn't allowed to sell it on the campus of the Army. So at any rate, so that was a huge launch. I actually did break even on that endeavor, which is hard to do as a young person peddling your wares. And so I continued to write songs after that. And, of course, last year I had 124 paid singing engagements here in the Huntsville, greater Huntsville area. And the year before I had 174, so I'm going downhill, I guess. Getting older. But the Lord has truly blessed me, blesses my music. And I have built my repertoire of songs so that I can sing for 37 hours and not repeat a song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. So you still play today? Where do you play at? I mean, around town? Or?
I do. Tomorrow I'm doing a Valentine's show at Carriage Inn here in Huntsville.
Oh, nice. That's wonderful. It's amazing how God prepares people in your path and puts people together, and that He put your band together, just the people that you knew and
yes.
other people, and that you're still able to enjoy that passion of yours today. That's awesome.
Well, there's a couple of things, Rob. I got a treat for you here. You know, I love your style of music. This was back in the 70s, correct?
Yes.
And it has a contemporary kind of flair to it for that style. And I'm not a good person to ever ask about music because I forget. You can ask Jason. I get things so twisted up that I'll tell you like, oh yeah, that sounds like Peyton Manning. You know, like Peyton Manning plays football. He doesn't sing. But I have something here that I wanted to share, Rob, and I love this. This was a song. I believe it was part of that album that you were talking about. But this is one about America, and I'll play just a little blurb of this. Listen, this is really great, Jason.
Yeah.
If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I'll hear from heaven, I will forgive, I'll heal their land, I will forgive. America, why can't you just kneel down and pray?
Rob, I love that, and this is it's such beautiful songs. There's 10 of them that you've put on this album. Walk us through that. I just love that style. As I hear that, I take myself back. You know, I was born in the 80s, but I try to take myself back and place myself in that time frame. And that style and the way that you sing that fits that so perfectly. Walk us through that song and kind of the inspiration behind it.
Well, all the songs I wrote were truly from the Lord. I had one that to digress for a second, I just sat down at church. I was telling these two girls that I sang with problems I'd had at college and just started literally playing and sang a whole brand new song. They're writing as fast as they could. It clearly just came from the Lord.
Hallelujah, wonderful.
And it stayed exactly as I had sung it that day. But this song, I'd always had a heaviness on my heart that if we are saying that in God we trust, why can't we just trust Christ? And it was very appropriate back then. It's even more appropriate today.
That's right.
And so it's always been a very special song to me because one of the things I didn't do with my life that I always thought I was going to be was a United States Senator. But then I realized it takes a little bit of money. And I didn't want to be bought and paid for.
There you go.
Well, you can tell those musicians on that are super talented, like you said. How long did it take y'all to put that album together?
It took, I think, 3 or 4 meetings, and I think the most exciting part of it for me was the mix down, where you just go into the studio and we had like 6 mics on the drummer, and I mean, and then when he'd go like this on the piano, I'd do the stereo panoramic image where it goes through the speakers like this and then comes back.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun producing that, which we did in a day. And so we were so excited about it. Everyone involved was so with it, and the Lord was with us, that it just came out in just a few days. We had that album done.
Wow. So I'm curious then, back then, what was the format that y'all used? Did you put them on records or what?
Well, we, of course, put it on reel-to-reel, which is about all there was back then. So they gave me a tape that's about this big, reel-to-reel. And I found out that ABC Dunhill out in Sunnydale, California, would actually, if you paid them some money, they would reproduce your album for you. And I had a fella at church, and I told him I was going to do this, and I wanted to call the album Cornerstones, which was kind of funny because I hadn't written that song until we were in the studios basically doing, and I thought, let's do a song called Cornerstone so I can name my album Cornerstones.
Yeah.
Talk about being kind of reversed, but so at any rate, it's they were just such gifted musicians, especially the pianist. He was truly a concert pianist.
Definitely.
And everybody was so together that it just flowed. And it's such a great feeling when, you're strumming a song and singing it, and then just within 1 minute or a minute and a half, they're all coming in. And I remember on one song, I finished it and I said, "Can y'all do that again just like that?"
Wait a minute, we just did that on the fly.
That's right.
So when you had it on reel to reel, then you got it transferred to cassette tape or what?
Yes, cassette tapes and 8 tracks.
Okay.
In fact, yeah, Rob walked into my office here at church, and he had an 8-track still sealed in the plastic. And I was like, that is awesome.
Wow, that is cool.
That is old school.
Yeah, it's amazing. The reason I ask, it's just interesting how the format of music has changed throughout the years, and like you said, recording that in that day was a lot more difficult because you pretty much had to record it live, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
And so it's a lot more easier with the digital technology that people have today to record music, and you can do it almost anywhere. Back then, you had to have pretty high tech equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, and one thing that you can do nowadays is take the joy of AI. Robin and I had a great hour-and-a-half session, and Robin and his wife had married around the time of COVID. And I said, "Hey, is Debbie a jokester?" And Rob said, "Yeah, she'll joke a little bit." I said, "Why don't we check this out?" I said, "Let's pretend that you wrote a song back in the 70s, and you specifically mentioned Debbie, and you talked about you met her in the middle of a major virus." And so we had AI'd a song that was like, "One day I'll meet Debbie, da da da." And it was, did you played it for?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you tell her at first though that it was a joke, or did you wait till after?
I said, "I've got a song that I wrote for you. I want you to hear it." And she was like, full orchestration, and my voice is just fabulous, She's like, "What is this?" I said, "I think they call it AI."
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It was funny, Rob. We were talking afterwards. He goes, "Rob, that was a lot of fun." He goes, "That was one of the most interesting meetings I've had in a long time."
Yes.
So, well, how can folks? Maybe there's somebody out there today. Especially we work with a lot of senior centers around the area, the Villages at Huntsville, Parkview Place Apartments. Maybe there's somebody watching today that says they would love for you to come in and entertain their guests, and not necessarily even retirement homes, but anybody. How can folks connect with you? Kind of what's your business and those kind of things, if you don't mind telling us.
Yeah, I have a phone number.
Yeah, are you okay to give that out?
It's 281.
Okay, let me add this in here. 281
684
6552.
6552.
Okay.
So that would be the way to reach me. I live here in Huntsville with my beautiful wife and our 3 dogs and 3 cats and our rain-soft water purification system.
Oh, okay. All right. You have one of those?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. If you're going to do it, you got to get the rain-soft. It's just no other way.
Well, Rob knows how to put them in, apparently, so he can save you a lot of money. Just go on Amazon and buy it. Call Rob up. His side job is putting in rain soft water softeners and bidets.
Yeah, if you need a bidet, we'll take care of you. No, you don't have to worry about toilet paper in our house.
And repairing the leak in your front yard during that last freeze.
Yeah, whatever you need. So, well, Rob, we're just so thrilled again. It's been great, and Jason, this is what I love about how God works. God, calls people to be at places for a reason. We have so many wonderful churches in the community. I always encourage people, get plugged in somewhere. We'd love to have you here at First. We're so thrilled to have you and your wife and y'all's family here at First. You've brought so much joy to so many people, and we have a greeting time where we greet guests before, in the middle of service or right before, kind of after one song, then we'll greet guests, and I always enjoy going up and saying hi to you, Rob. But maybe just highlight, if you don't mind, briefly, just your connection here. Just kind of what you've seen God do in about the year that you guys have been here. I joked around because I used to say in the announcements, Jason, I'd say maybe you've been here one time, or as I talked to one guy 8 times, and now you guys have joined. But tell us a little bit about how God is working here at First with you guys.
Well, we of course were members of another church here locally that we decided it was time for us to part, and so we went to a number of churches. Whew, that was quite an experience. Fortunately, we finally came to First Baptist Church, the Harbor of Hope, which is
it's reached one person. All right.
No. And the first service that was here was about the school that you were sponsoring. It wasn't a regular sermon, and then there was the one the next week was something different. So we thought, we'll have to come back and hear a real sermon from Brother Jason. And after the 5th Sunday, we looked at one another and said, this is it.
Praise God.
We've never looked back. This has been a truly wonderful experience. I was born and raised, like I said, in the Bible Church of Little Rock, Arkansas, and have been through some wonderful churches. But this is, I'm sorry to say to the other churches, this is by far and away the best spiritual experience that myself and my wife have ever had in our lives.
Wow, that's quite a compliment to the work of the Holy Spirit in this place. And there's a when I look at Rob, I see, the scripture that comes to mind is the joy of the Lord is my strength.
Yeah.
Because he and Debbie both, they've gone through some difficult things with the family and other things, health issues that have occurred in their family, but even through all of that, there's such a joy in them that's so evident. And man, I admire that in you. When you look at you, you just see you radiate that presence of Christ, the joy in your heart.
Well, it's easy to do in this congregation.
Praise the Lord.
Well, there's a lot of great churches in the community, and like we always say, get connected somewhere where you feel at home. And
Amen.
I'm thankful that we have so many different churches, because not every church is a fit for everybody.
Right.
But I always encourage people, find a place where you feel at home, and we really work hard, and it's all glory to God, Jason.
Amen.
And we're thankful to have you and your family and the joy that you bring to us here at First. So we appreciate you, Rob.
Thank you so much.
Anything else you wanted to add in that maybe was on your mind before you part ways with us today?
Just the fact that the Lord is so wonderfully good.
Amen.
If you'll trust and believe in Him and let Him lead your life.
Absolutely.
Amen,
Absolutely.
brother. All right, well, there he is, Rob Mason. Give him a call if you're looking for a good time. He's so good at his music and what he does. If you're looking to entertain a group with a good time, Rob Mason is the guy to do it. He is so talented. Again, over 170 gigs across the whole area here over the last year.
That's cool.
And let's get that back up. Let's go 250 gigs, all right?
Yeah.
You got the stamina for it?
I don't know.
He's like, I don't know. And you're still smiling. See,
Yeah.
Jason, there it is. All right, well, we're going to take a break real quick as we continue on. News you can use coming up next. Rob, the keyword, you heard it earlier, right? This week, in honor of Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Love.
Right.
Hey, give us a Rob Mason radio voice about the keyword. Can you do that real quick? I'm throwing him on the spot.
When first you don't succeed, try one other thing. Love one another.
There you go. Text in the keyword love. It is the love is the keyword. We're giving away a Cafe Texan gift card today. Text that in on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. As always, we are here. First Baptist is our sponsor on Thursdays. Come by and see us. We'd love to have you. More information online at fbchuntsville.org. We'll take a brief break. We'll be back in a moment. More to come. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Imagine a professional office space that elevates your business image without the corporate price tag. Huntsville Executive Office Suites are coming soon to Lake Road. Enjoy high-speed internet, a fully equipped kitchen, and 24/7 secure access. Take advantage of our live answering service, advertising on our outdoor video sign, and a convenient location just a quarter mile from SHSU. Lease terms start at 6 months. Call Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378. Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Grow your business without outgrowing your budget. This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Jason Bay, the pastor at First Baptist Church, Huntsville, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
Still don't have that graphic yet, Jason. You know, I need to get that graphic of you because let's switch gears. Watch this. You ready?
Yeah. Yes.
It's now time for the Jason Bay. The Jason Bay news you can use.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. We have some news you can use this morning, just a few articles that I want to bring to your attention. And these articles are articles that are supposed to generate discussion between you and the people in your household so that we have communication going on and promote talking once again. But I showed you this, Rob, just a minute ago. The USPS. Remember the old Jeeps, or little Jeeps they have driving down the neighborhoods delivering the mail. You've seen those throughout your life probably. I can't ever remember them being anything different except the old mail truck. Well, they decided it's time to upgrade the mail truck, and the pictures of the new mail truck are going viral because of the reaction that it's generating for so many different people. And here it is, Rob. Take a look at it right there. And those that are watching on Facebook. I have a picture of it there.
I called that a 5-head. Like you have a 4-head, that's a 5-head. It's the most hideous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's very interesting looking.
Is that AI generated?
No, that's the actual truck there. And those that can't see or listening on the radio, it has a short, almost look like a golf cart with a huge top to it. And they're calling this the next generation delivery vehicle. They're designed to be safer, more efficient, and better for the environment. And people are reacting to this. And I like some of the comments that it is given about it. One person wrote, "You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like."
No, this is bureaucracy. There's a reason that the USPS loses billions of dollars each year. This is another great example of that. That is the most hideous vehicle I've ever seen, Jason.
Another person wrote, "It's like what cars looks like in 50s cartoons."
Yeah, exactly. That thing is ugly.
Another person wrote, "This is what a car looks like when I draw it." The little and the big top.
Hey, here, you'll like this one, Jason. Hold on, don't look yet. I don't want you to see this. All right, hold on.
All right.
I just someone had just sent me a picture of the new vehicles. Also, you ready for this, Jason?
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it.
There you
love
go.
it. Yeah.
Kind of like in the back mail order department.
Yeah. You'd think if they were going to design something new.
Why did it put that on there?
Stupid looking, oversized, and ugly.
That's not positive, Jason.
No, that's not at all.
Oh.
If you thought they were going to generate something new, you would think that they would probably go to something similar to what maybe Amazon is using or UPS uses or FedEx has used for so many years instead of something that's really kind of small looking. And one person wrote that the only advantage of this is that you can avoid running over small children.
Yeah, because you're so low to the ground. Now this you would accidentally hit children with. That's the new one that they're also working on there.
That's wonderful.
This one looks better than that electric one.
Yeah, no kidding. That would at least generate comments. Kids would at least like that one.
I mean, this one you're not only getting your mail, you can get ice cream.
That's right.
They probably make more money delivering ice cream.
Serve mail out the front and ice cream out the back.
All right.
All right. On another note.
I love this technology, by the way.
Yeah, AI is so fun for Rob. NASA says that an asteroid. Have you heard about this, by the way?
No. Is there one on the way?
There is one on the way,
yes.
And they have looked at it. And this one, they said, there's a 2.3% chance that it could actually hit the Earth, which, when you think about it, is pretty large percent. In fact, they raised that percent from January. The percentage was 1.2%, and so it's almost doubled in just over a month. Which 2.3% is like a 1 in 43 chance that the asteroid would hit the Earth. Now, it's not something we have to worry about immediately because they're noticing it in the orbit as it gets closer. It's going to, if it does collide with the Earth, it would be in 2032. But the asteroid is about the size of the Statue of Liberty, and its impact coming in at a high velocity of about 38,000 miles per hour wouldn't totally obliterate the Earth, but it could destroy a city depending on where it hit. So it's something that they're keeping an eye on, and it's pretty interesting if you think about it.
That reminds me back in the day when the Mir, remember the Russian space station Mir?
Mm-hmm.
When they finally decommissioned that thing, Taco Bell had a campaign about this, a publicity stunt, and they put a huge Taco Bell logo out in the middle of the ocean. And they said if any piece of that space station hits our logo, everybody gets free burritos. Did you remember this? Did you ever
I know.
Yeah, they had it out floating in the ocean. It's a smart thing, man. Needless to say, it burned up completely. No pieces of Mir landed on that, but it was such a great publicity stunt. They said everybody in the world will get free burritos at all of our locations if a piece of Mir hits the Taco Bell logo.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Too bad. That would have been pretty awesome.
Something. What can we do with this thing? You know, if something. I hope it doesn't happen. If it does, man, this is bad of me to say. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. Okay, let me get that disclaimer out there. But it would be kind of exciting if there was known that it would not harm anybody. It would be kind of cool to see that thing coming in and like slamming into the ocean.
Yeah. And the reality is,
cool.
I think that they
tsunamis,
probably. It's just like a anything else. They probably can track its location as it gets closer, because you're talking about 2032. So they could probably have the resources to be able to determine about where it's going to hit at, and they probably would have time to evacuate those areas if it was actually going to hit in a populated area. But you think about the world, and if it's going to hit the world, how how big the world is and how population centers are scattered out. I mean, the likelihood that even if it did 2.3% chance of it hitting the earth, and then a whole lot less percent chance that it would actually hit a populated area, considering there's so much of the earth that's not populated. It's pretty interesting, though. Next, I brought up the last week, there was the decrease in people drinking orange juice. Mm-hmm. Remember when I talked about that? Well, there's another article out that's out this week that says that the title of the article is "The Last Days of American Orange Juice: Savor Every Last Drop." And the reality is that because Americans are drinking so much less orange juice, and there is a tiny, hard-to-control insect called the Asian citrus something. They feed on these orange trees, and they inject bacteria that floods into the tree's veins, and they're having a whole lot of trouble with this insect out in Florida, that a lot of producers have gone to producing something else. So nowadays, our oranges that once were produced in Florida, a lot of our oranges are imported now from outside sources. So the reality is that orange juice is going down, and because people drink less of it because of the sugar intake, but also it looks like the producers may be producing less and less of it going forward. So get your orange juice while you can.
Yeah, you better get it in the toilet paper.
Yeah. And that brings me to another article that I saw that I thought would be interesting to discuss this morning. There's an article that nutritionists and dietitians are sharing the health foods that actually aren't as healthy as we think. You know, you see these things that are advertised as health foods, and many of them are not nearly as healthy as you think. And I want to just mention a couple of them here that they mentioned in this article. One of them is granola bars. Do you like granola bars?
It depends on which ones. The Nature's Valley, yes. Some of the other ones, no.
Yeah, it says the reason why they're not, even though they're associated in your mind with whole grains, nuts, dried fruits, such things as that, they are also loaded with high amounts of sugar, refined grains, and hydrogenated oils and artificial flavors and colorings. Another one is flavored yogurt. You like yogurt?
Oh, yeah, I love yogurt.
Yeah, yogurt's often touted as a high-protein, low-calorie option. But because there's so many different ones, you really have to look at the amount of sugar that each one contains, because some of those are really packed with a lot of sugar. Another one that surprised me is deli meat. Sandwiches, you get meat at the deli.
No, but we get the boar's head. Like, we have them. Bridget
That's
doesn't.
Smart.
Yeah, she likes to always chop it right off the block.
Yeah, that's really smart. And I think I should do that more at times. And I don't know why I don't. I think it's mainly because there's a counter there, and you actually have to go up there and tell them what you want, you know.
Well, HEB pre-packages. They do? They'll, like, right behind that counter, they'll take, like, those meats, and they'll actually slice them and put them on another little area right across from it. So you can get them to go right there.
Yeah, and so what this says, this is by the World Health Organization. It says
who?
The World Health Organization.
No, who?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, lean turkey or other deli meat is sometimes recommended as a healthy snack, but not all deli meats are created equal. Some can be high in sodium and low in proteins, and some contains nitrates and nitrites, which have been linked to cancer. And so the WHO, as you says, lists processed meats as carcinogenic. It's pretty alarming.
Wow. Yeah, when you hear the word carcinogenic and you're thinking of food, that doesn't go together.
No kidding. So avoid the cheap lunch meats that are ultra processed and packed with nitrites and nitrates.
Huh.
Another thing, juices, which I meant that you think of juices, or we used to think growing up that, juices were healthy and get you a big glass of orange juice. You have your daily source of vitamin C. But as you know, we talked about this last week, that often store-bought juice contains an exceptionally amount of sugar. Anything containing powdered vegetables. A lot of people are using powdered greens for smoothies, but they say that these powdered vegetables that you mix up, and you can buy them. The problem with these is they want you to eat vegetables because of they're high in fiber. They make you feel fuller when you eat them, but these powdered vegetables don't contain as much fiber, which is in whole produce and is vital for gut and heart health. So you might want to avoid that. Any kind of organic snack foods, even though it has the word organic on it, doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you. It contains a lot of calories and hidden calories in those items. So there's just some things that a lot of times we think of as healthy that are not really healthy.
Great. I was about to start buying that Balance of Nature. I see those commercials everywhere. You know what I'm talking? Have you ever seen those? The Balance of Nature fruits and veggies.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
These are huge. They're a number one seller.
Mm-hmm.
Balance of Nature.
Yep. And so the article, which talks about how sometimes those things like that can be misleading because it's not the same as eating true vegetable because not all the fiber is not there.
Do you eat like not vegetable, but I mean, do you eat do you take any type of supplements or anything like that?
I take some vitamins, but nothing like powdered, protein shakes or anything like that. Now, I used to do that when I was working out more. I'd drink like a protein shake, and I usually got those that you were pre-mixed that you could drink, and I like those, but they probably do. Thinking back, they probably do contain an awful lot of sugar in those because they're very sweet.
Did you ever work out at Planet Fitness?
No, I didn't. I just work out at home mainly.
If you work out at Planet Fitness, you can trigger the lunk alarm. Have you heard of this thing?
No, I need to. What is it?
It detects grunts. It's a true thing.
Really?
If you grunt, like, oh, the alarm, and it goes off, they don't allow you to grunt. Because Planet Fitness is all about everybody kind of no matter where you're at in your fitness journey, and they don't want some macho taco coming in there grunting.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that they've talked about outlawing in gyms is videotaping. Because all of these influencers are, you can't go on the web now on Facebook or whatever and not see someone videoing themselves working out, And so a lot of gyms have outlawed any kind of recording devices in gyms or purposefully recording yourself working out. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. All right, I want to bring this article to you, Rob. This is a good one. Texas Monthly produced this article, and the name of the article is "The Most Polarizing Thing on Wheels." Now, I want you to think about these words that's the word of the year. Polarized. Yeah. So now they're using it in a non-political way about this. So anyways, I thought of that. Go ahead. All right. Now, I want you to think about all the vehicles on the road today, modern vehicles. What do you think this article is referring to when it talks about the most polarizing thing on wheels?
Tesla. Electric EV.
Okay. You're close.
Oscar Mayer Wiener vehicle.
You nailed it. No, it's the Cybertruck.
Ah, okay.
So the Cybertruck has generated all kinds of discussion, and there's people that love the idea of it and those that think it's very ugly. All right, now and they've had all kinds of problems with these new trucks because of when Elon Musk was designing it. He wanted the outside of it to be made of stainless steel, It's the first recent vehicle to be made with this feature. And you've probably seen things where you can take a sledgehammer and hit the side of it. Have you seen those videos demonstrating the toughness of these vehicles? Well, the problem with that is that they're very hard to shape. They're very hard to take the panels and make them match up perfectly. So the panels on the truck, a lot of them are not exactly matched up perfectly. Each truck's a little bit different just because of the difficulty of mass producing that type of metal. It's hard to bend, and that's also why it has that kind of design where it's like more sharp edges and not rounded, smooth like you think of whenever you're talking about a modern day car today. But whenever it first came out, it was touted, Elon Musk touted the car would be sold around $30,000, $30,000 to $40,000. How much do you think it cost to purchase the truck today?
$110,000.
$100,000. It cost
really
$100,000, more than twice what Musk said that it would whenever it was first announced. So, do you think you would drive a Cybertruck?
No, I'm happy with my F-150. And there's a reason. There's a reason for that, Jason. And I wanted to show you this. I know you're talking, but this will tie in perfectly. You just mentioned it's the most power. They touted it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a guy on YouTube, the Whistling Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the guy because he takes really good brand new stuff and tears it up.
Yeah.
Even vintage. He had a Model T, pristine, tore it up. Here's what he discovered, and Tesla has even has had to respond to this. The F-150 gets stuck. He uses. They're tearing up both of these vehicles, brand new.
Yeah.
Here, watch what happens, Jason.
Okay.
A simple toe ripped off the bumper.
Oh my goodness!
And he discovered that this is the Whistling Diesel. The frame snapped in half.
Oh,
just by trying to tow the truck. So they've had to respond to this. Tesla has as a company. Anyway, sorry. I just had to show you that.
That's
so it's
exactly
not that tough.
That's exactly what this article is about. That they're having all sorts of issues with it, but you see them around. I mean, when you see them, you don't forget them.
No,
because they are so unique. I remember the first time I saw one was over in College Station. Kim and I went over there to get something to eat, and it was like, what is that? And then we realized what it is. But it is making all sorts of news for the issues that they've currently having with the body style of the Cybertruck. But Texas Monthly has a whole article on the issues that they're having, and there are some good things about it, like the way it takes off. If they say when you hit it to the floor, it's the 0 to 60 is so quick, it moves like a sports car.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a lot of things that don't really work that well.
That technology is advancing so fast that 2 years ago I would have said I would never own an EV, and now it's a very serious consideration because my buddy Carl bought a Tesla, used Tesla 2017. He ended up getting that car for like $13,000, Jason.
Golly.
Because he traded in. They had a huge tax credit for it.
Yeah.
And he took me on a ride, and in that car, he's like, I can't do it because we're in your neighborhood, but I'm going to give you a taste of it. And I live on a cul-de-sac on a long street, and he hit that thing just down that street, and I mean, it was 2 seconds.
Yeah, those things have tremendous amount of pickup and go, and that's what they were talking about in this truck as well. By the way, they did announce they're coming out with a second generation of these Cybertrucks, which are going to look a little bit different or considerably different. It's going to still have the same type of shape and the same features on it, but it is going to look more like a truck, and they're all going to have different colors of it as well. So yeah. So you know how we always, I didn't want to leave this one out, but I thought this was pretty interesting. You know how we always say, well, find a church, and it doesn't matter what church, find a church and that you can plug in and go to that church, right? That's something we always say here. Well, we may have to refrain from saying that or alter what we say, because this church in Colorado has drawn attention for handing out magic mushrooms to its congregants for free. You know what the name of the church is? the Psychedelic Church of Colorado Springs.
Oh yeah, don't find a church like that and get plugged in.
It has gained. They've been pretty good gaining membership. They have over 300 members currently, so they're doing quite well with their membership. But it just goes to show you that the law which determines what a church is may need to be altered somewhat, because the critics are saying that the reason why they're calling it a church is just to avoid certain taxes.
Yeah, no, and you hear us say that, and I know that we always encourage you, get into a good Bible-based, Jesus-believing church. Yeah, without that stuff.
Yeah, I just thought that was.
And you're right. It brings up a point, though, Jason, that there's laws and people have found ways to pervert the laws, such as this.
Yeah.
And it's sad that these things happen. And I've seen it. I know of several organizations that operate as a quote-unquote religious nonprofit because they've created. And, man, that's a dangerous path to go down. And
a lot of politicians do that, create foundations and other things to, hide money and put money into different things. But absolutely, I mean, there's so much. Well, as we've seen, whenever they've started pulling back not to get political, but in the news, just the waste that's going on in the federal government. And when you pull back the sheet, you kind of look under, see what's going on. You see there's a lot of fraud out there, and this is just another.
I can hear Reagan right now saying, instead of Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, instead of that, it's a government. Pull back this curtain, on all the spending. So, it's pretty crazy.
Last thing I wanted to get to, do you? I think we've talked about this before, but have you ever been on a cruise before?
Oh yeah, love cruises.
You love cruises?
Two of them. Yeah.
Well, maybe we haven't talked about this before. When was the last one you went on?
Man, I took 2 vacations when I had my 2 only in 14 years, and both of them were cruises. And when I say vacation, if you get away for a weekend, that's not a vacation. Mm-hmm. A vacation is a good 5 to 7 days, completely disconnected.
You definitely need that. And by the way, that's something we talked about in like around Valentine's Day. It's so good to get away with your wife, but. My wife and I, we went on a cruise for our honeymoon, and I've always wanted to go back, and we haven't. I've just been on that one cruise in my life, and it was good to get away, but I was so nervous about getting on that cruise the first time because I thought to myself, I'm prone to motion sickness, like when I'm in a car, if I can't read anything when I'm in the car or even on an airplane, I'm prone to that motion sickness. So I thought, I don't know if I want to go on a cruise or not. I'm gonna be sick the whole entire time. But
you don't feel it.
No, we didn't. I didn't feel anything regarding that going. But
except at night, because they go fast at night, and you kind of feel.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about it, this year has been exceptionally bad. The CDC has reported that this year has been exceptionally bad for the flu virus and other viruses going around. I know because all my family was sick with it, and there's probably people that are listening that they as well have had family members that have suffered with the flu this year because it has been the flu numbers have been astronomical, and not only the flu A like you normally think of, but also this gastrointestinal flu virus. And recently, there's 2 different cruise ships where they had over 100 people come down with a stomach flu while they were out, and they've just gotten back. One was the Viking, Princess and Viking was one, and another one is Royal Caribbean Cruise out of Florida that had over 100 people that came down with the stomach flu. So I'm thinking the worst possible scenario is to be on a cruise ship and everybody's sick. And you pay for it, and there's no refund on that either.
You're walking down the halls. Look, this is what I love about audio, and I know we're on video, but now let's go to the audio side. You describe it and you paint the picture. Close your eyes. You're walking. Close your eyes and open up your nostrils. You're walking down the rows and rows of these cruise ships, and all of a sudden takes you back to that nursing home when you were a kid that was horribly ran, and the smell.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, You think of all the fun you're going to have when you step aboard a cruise ship and you get on there, and over 100 people are on there sick basically the whole time. I had a friend that went on a cruise, and he went on the cruise during this time of the year, you know, the winter months. Usually think of cruises in the summer and whatnot, but he went on a cruise this time of the year, and he didn't really want to go on it. And his wife convinced him to go on it. She had to really twist his arm because he was in the Navy. And he said, when I got out of the Navy, I said, I'm never getting on another boat as long as I live. I don't care what it is. But his wife twisted his arm, and he got on one of his cruise ships. And he came back, and we went out to dinner, and he was telling me, man, it was terrible. It was the same thing happened. The same thing happened. He's like, everybody on the ship. It was their ship got into some turbulent waters, and everybody was throwing up on the ship. So
why is it always throwing up though in the stomach bug? You always hear the stomach bug on these cruise ships.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's because you're in such close quarters. You don't really think about it when you get on there, but if somebody is sick on there, it doesn't take long for it to spread into situations like that. But they did say in the article that they're doing everything possible to try to clean those ships because the flu and sickness in general is going around in such astronomical numbers this year, unlike other years previously.
Some people live on the cruise ships. It's cheaper to live on the cruise ship.
I heard about that. I heard about one guy that lived on the cruise ship for years. Unbelievable.
Well, there it is. News you can use.
Absolutely.
I know we got to wrap. Do you have just a couple more minutes, Jason? Super Bowl just happened.
Yes.
Who are you rooting for?
Well, I was going for Kansas City, and the first quarter is about all I needed.
Kendrick Lamar's performance, I didn't, and it's because there was no reason that I didn't watch it. It's just I'm not a fan of I'm really not a huge fan of music and performances. I like a lot of Christian music and stuff. So I didn't get to watch the whole. I watched part of it, and then I just usually halftime I'm going to reload the chips and all that kind of stuff. Bridget put out a good spread, but it was just us. But we put the screen up. We had a great time, and the kids were starting to go nuts. And so I put on a little CeCe Winans there.
Oh yeah,
they love that. But that performance was the all-time most watched Super Bowl performance, 133.5 million. Compared to Michael Jackson's 133.4 million.
Yeah, I heard, and it was also the most. Even though it was one of the worst Super Bowls that I can remember as far as just competitiveness, it was the most watched Super Bowl of all time. So
wow.
Just goes to show you that football, NFL football, will always rule the day.
All right. Well, here's what I wanted to show real quick because I do enjoy the Super Bowl commercials. I don't remember many of them because I really wasn't paying attention that much.
Right.
But here's the one
that you remember
that I think is one of the most funny Super Bowl commercials that I've seen in a long time. I don't know if the audio will play. If it does, it may echo. But here it is.
We're out of Pringles.
Did you see this one?
No.
Blow on the game. Do it.
This was great.
Oh my god.
I'd like to thank our fans.
Oh my goodness.
This is so good. The handlebar.
Oh man, I did not see this.
Oh, this was classic.
Like the bat by the church.
I want to go eat some Pringles though. Oh, this was.
Are those mustaches?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the store.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was, that was good. I hadn't seen a good Super Bowl commercial in a long time. That one was great.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite ones was there was a guy throwing pencils. I don't know if you remember this one. And he was sitting in an office chair, and he was throwing pencils up at the ceiling, and he kept throwing them. He threw one really hard, and it goes through 5 floors, and it hits another guy sitting down. He's like, oh, like that. Those are the only two that I really remember.
Yeah. They had one. He Gets Us, that Christian group that's putting out commercials, and a big sponsor of that is Hobby Lobby. The CEO or the owner of Hobby Lobby funds a lot of that. It's pretty. It makes you think.
Yeah. Well, let's head over to our 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. We got a winner today, Cafe Texan gift card.
All right.
Hello.
Yes, Phil, Brent, Roy D. Mercer here, Muskogee, Oklahoma. How are you?
Oh, no.
Listen. Now, I know my friend over here is laughing, but this ain't no laughing matter. We bought a cabin from you, a hunting cabin, and we were shooting deer, and the door broke off. The deer ran off, and I paid $3,000 for that hunt. They said the cabin was from your business, and I'm coming down there today. How big of a girl are you? I'm coming down there today, and I'm getting.
better than to ask that kind of question.
I'm getting your. Listen. I ain't gonna come. My wife Sharon Jean's gonna come because
my God.
I'm not a man that go after a woman, but my wife Sharon Jean, she don't play. She gonna ask you how big of a boy are you? And she gonna come down there and get our money.
All right. Well, she can talk to Karen.
Well, come on. Adrian, how you doing? Good to hear from you.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm good. Did you ever hear those commercials back, or those prank calls back in the day?
I did.
Yeah.
You know that I just read that guy passed away.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, Phil Brent and Roy D. Mercer from somewhere in Oklahoma.
Roy D. Mercer.
He'd always ask that. He'd go, "How big of a boy are you?" Or if he's talking to like, "How big of a girl are you?" And they go, "Well, I'm 6'2", 350. He goes, "Well, that don't fit me off any." I'm coming down there today, and I'm getting my money. He's throwing a few other things that we can't repeat.
Right.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Adrian Hunter, Cabazamora, Texas. How's it going?
It's good. It's really good.
Awesome. Well, today, winner, Cafe Texan gift card.
Good stuff.
You know what? I'm going to give you a choice today. Would you like a surprise Elliot's bag or Cafe Texan? It's up to you.
Oh, no. You're going to make me think.
Because I have a couple. I still have a few. I had been able to save a couple of bags. Now, it's not our Valentine's bag, but it's a different bag. So it's up to you. It's an Elliot's Jewelers, as we used to say in Fargo, bag of jewelry, a bag, gift bag, or a Cafe Texan gift card. I can tell you that the Elliot's Jewelers bag is going to be valued at a little bit more than that Cafe Texan gift card. It's up to you, though.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I love Elliot. I'm going to go with his bag.
All right.
Bag.
Yeah.
Big with the big.
Yeah, definitely.
No. The bag.
The bag.
That's right.
Like, I'm not speaking that.
I don't blame you.
Well, Adrian Hunter Cabs. Jason, if Adrian has a great business, they're located just outside over there in Riverside, and a beautiful business. She sells all sorts of cabins. Tell us a little bit about the business real quick. I'll let you plug it, Adrian.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, yeah, we do portable buildings, sheds, garages, cabins. We also do steel structures. And the really important thing about the steel structures right now is prices are about to go up because of everything that's going on. So we really encourage everyone, if you want a carport, a horse barn, any kind of metal steel structure, please come see us like today or tomorrow, because our sales are going to be going off, and I think prices are actually going up.
All right.
Really soon. So now is a really good time to go ahead and get those ordered, and we'd love to help.
Hey, and in your line of business, it's like my buddy said when I was in high school trying to buy a car. He goes, "No credit, don't sweat it." So, Adrian,
that's true.
Adrian will find a way to make it work for you. Y'all do incredible work, and Adrian, we just love you and your family. Y'all are good people, and congratulations, Elliot's Jewelers.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Jason's got a quick question for you.
What's the thing that you're most thankful about living in Huntsville?
I mean, it really just boils down to the people and the community. I love interacting with our community. I love serving our community. We just have some really, really great people who just pour into each other, and it's just it's a community in the real sense of the word.
Love
Absolutely.
We haven't had anybody yet, Adrian, like, what do you love best about Huntsville? And someone goes, Nothing. So we don't expect that ever.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, I'm sending Sharon Jean down there. She's coming down there today, and she's going to bring you some jewelry, okay? Come on.
Awesome. That sounds great. We'll talk to her.
All right. Well, I'll message you. We'll have that ready for pickup here at the church. Sharon Jean can't make it over there, but we'll have it at the church for you. All right, Adrian. Hey, well, God bless you. Have a great day, all right?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care. Adrian's wonderful person. So that's good. You ever hear any of those Roy D. Mercers back in the day? They were so good.
I
didn't know he passed away, man.
Yeah, I read that just like on Facebook or somewhere that he had recently, maybe Twitter, that he had passed away. But she mentioned something there about our community, and we talk about our community all the time. And I've read the paper yesterday, and there's so many things going on in our community with people that have big visions for the future about of Huntsville. And man, I'm overwhelmed with the future of what Huntsville is going to be, because there's so many people that are developing, that are pouring money into this community. It's an exciting time to be a part of Huntsville and what the future has for coming up. I mean, from the whole development over on the other side of 45 to talks of potentially a new hospital maybe coming along the way, and
that is a reality now. We'll put the article up on our website here in just a little bit. As always, our streaming, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Our streaming is brought to you by our friends at Huntsville Memorial Hospital.
Good people.
And we got the official release now
with a great vision there to accomplish something here in Huntsville that we desperately need, and especially with the anticipated growth of this community. I mean, like I said, it's an exciting time to be a part of what Huntsville is doing.
Yeah, two things that define a community, I think: successful, good education system. HISD is working hard. Dr. Shepard's done a great job elevating the schools here. And then you've got to have great health care, and HMH is doing that. In fact, yesterday, our good friend, don't want to get in HIPAA violation here, but a good friend of ours, you had taken him, and I picked him up yesterday. Right. And so friendly over there at the vascular clinic. And they just did the procedure. He was in and out. And he was a little worried going in, but he said, I know the Lord's with me. Whatever happens, happens. And, he got out of there and everything was fine. And, I mean, he walked to the – I said, man, I don't think you should be walking. No, it's okay. I was like, all right. But they took excellent care of him in that quick – and they can do that, those kind of procedures right here in Huntsville now.
Yeah, and that's only going to get better.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, real quick, we're about to wrap up. Just wrapped up the Vision series here at First, and now into a new series called Love Isn't Blind.
Yes.
I always say this. I know you don't like me talking you up, but I know it's all glory for God, Jason. That sermon, I say this every week. I feel like it's like that's the best sermon I've heard. That sermon on Sunday, Bridget and I came out of that, and there's been a whole new refreshed attitude. Not that it was negative before, but this new attitude, I feel like, in our relationship and in our household about this new sermon series that you've started.
Well, it's straight out of the Word. I appreciate your comments. Last Sunday, we looked at the book of Song of Solomon leading up to Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. And it is so, I love this book, and I fell in love with this book. I was shared in the sermon several years ago. I was asked to teach a class at Alpha Omega, and it included this book. And I really dove into it, and there's so much beautiful poetry in this book. And a lot of times I mentioned in the sermon, this is those books that the pastors skip over. They don't preach this book often enough. But it talks about this eros love, this passionate love between a husband and his wife, and what this love looks like. And I think for so many of us, as we go through life, and I've been in marriage counseling a lot of times, and I've been trained in that, and also trained others. And the interesting thing about it, when you hear a lot of people that are in marriage counseling and want help for their marriage, what they'll tell you is that when you ask them, do you love their spouse, they'll say, yes, I love my spouse. And in a roundabout way, what they'll end up saying is, but I'm not in love with my spouse. And what they're telling me is that the passion in the marriage is gone, that they've gone from being a couple to being roommates, and that's so so often the case with a lot of people, because marriage is not something that it's something that you just grow closer automatically. It's something you have to work at. It's something that you have to continue to develop, just like we develop our relationship with God each and every day. You have to do that same thing with your spouse, because you're either going to grow closer to one another or you're going to grow apart. That's the fact of the matter. But this book of Song of Solomon is so powerful in the way it describes what a passionate love is all about, that I was encouraging our congregation on Sunday to rekindle that in our marriages. We're only as strong as our weakest marriage. Think about that. Like a chain, as a church, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And a church is made up of individual families and individual marriages. And it's so important that we as a church focus on that. This passage of Scripture meant so much to me, but in this last part of Song of Solomon, listen to the beauty of what he says. She is speaking to her husband. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is as strong as death. Think about that word, what he just says, love is as strong as death. You've probably seen this in your life where you looked at a couple and you saw them as they grew older together, that their love was stronger and stronger and stronger.
It was my aunt and uncle. Yep.
And then when one of them dies, it's literally like ripping them in half. Because the two literally become one.
Yep.
And when that spouse is gone, love is as strong as death. It's like ripping that apart. And as we grow, that's their desire in our marriages, for them to be that strong, for that relationship to be that close. And the false narrative is, oh, that's impossible to have. A marriage is just going to go and gradually grow apart. That's just, you naturally lose the passion in your marriage. No, that's not true. You can restore that. You can restore that. And this book, the Bible as a whole, gives you the tools to be able to do that. Last week, we talked about just one aspect of that love, eros love, the passion love. But there's so many more aspects that we're going to get into. This week, we're going to be talking about phileo, that brotherly love, that friendship love. One of the greatest, I was teaching a marriage class in my church one time, and there was older couples in there. And I asked them, if you could give one advice to our couples here, you older couples to the younger couples, what advice would you give them? Or if you could give advice to people dating, what advice would you give him? This one man raised his hand. I'm going to mention it in the sermon on Sunday because he goes to our church here. He said, marry your best friend. Because friendship is so important in marriage. It's not just about the passion. It's not just about the eros, but also about the phileo. And the Bible says there is one who sticks closer than a brother. And that's Jesus Christ. And if you don't have him in your marriage, you cannot grow closer to one another. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Many have tried and many have failed. The Bible says, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. It requires that to have the Lord at the center of our households. Come, if you're one of those many people that are dealing with issues in your marriage, and you just say, I wish we could have what we once had, come to the service. We're a family. We're a harbor of hope, of people that are asking questions, that are broken, that want to know, how do we heal this thing? Come and find some hope for your marriage. Come this Sunday. We're going to be all the month of February. We're going to be talking about love isn't blind, because it's not. It requires you to open your eyes and see the things that need fixing and work on those marriages to grow stronger.
Yeah, it's good, Jay. It's a good message. While you were saying that, I just I thought about my uncle, and my heart it teared me up because my heart breaks for my uncle. He and my aunt, very devout Christians. In fact, I remember even growing up, I said, I want my marriage one day to emulate that. That's how much I think of my uncle and my aunt. And my aunt was tragically killed in a car accident, totally unexpected, just a few months ago. And they have been together for many, many, many years. And it was as simple as her going to the store. And they always talked. They always communicated. That's another key component to the marriage, is communicate. They always communicated. And she didn't call him to say she was on the way home, and immediately an alarm went off. And he had drove. He knew something was up because she wouldn't answer the phone, and he had drove They had to drive about 30 miles or 30 minutes into town. They live out in Bandera area, and they go to Helotes, and he had drove, and he had passed Jason the accident right after it had happened. And my heart breaks for him. There's joy because I know she's a Christian and that she's in heaven. But my uncle said it's the thing that hit me the hardest was my mom was telling me, she said, I spoke to your uncle. He's like, well, I'm trying to learn how to do things on my own. They had done everything together for so long, cooking, clean. I mean, he goes, Karen always cooked and did everything. She cleaned the house. He goes, I'm having to learn all of these things. But there's joy in knowing that she's with the Lord, and that's the only thing. And you and I have talked about this. When I lost my dad, I lost my grandma in 2001, lost my dad last year. I have had several friends. In fact, another friend in Georgetown just passed away a couple of days ago that I knew very well. But there's joy, and I'm so thankful that all of these people that I know that have passed knew the Lord and had a relationship with the Lord, because I know that I'll get to see them again one day.
One day reunited. What a beautiful thing that will be.
It's the only thing I believe, it's the only thing that'll really help you get through that.
That's right.
So
I do too.
Well, come by here. We'd love to see you. An extended show is always here on a Thursday. Appreciate Jason for being here with us. Please come and join and be part of our family. We'd love for you to come. You don't have to join right away. We've had folks that have been a guest here for a year. But I will always say this. I learned this from another pastor, and it's so true. If you come, give it a year. Give God a year to work. It's so easy to get plugged into a church or to go and then say, well, I'm just going to hop here and hop here. Like Rob said, they looked around and they finally said, we need to get plugged. They got plugged in here. If it's not here, get plugged in somewhere, but give the church a year of your life, of your time, and watch what God will do.
You'll never be the same.
And it won't even be a year. I guarantee in a couple of months, you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. So
praise God.
We'd love to have you. Come Sunday, 9:30. Bible study starts at 9:30. Service at 10:45 as Jason continues that series, Love Isn't Blind. Hey, Huntsville, we love you. Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us today. As I end every show, reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7:30. Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and our good friend Deanna Irwin of the Peyton Irwin Foundation joins us. Her story and what she has done. Her daughter passed away from someone texting and driving, and she has, in a way to honor Peyton, she has started her foundation, and it's been going strong for many years now. She'll be talking about that event, the Pineapple Run, coming up here before too long. That'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it tomorrow again, 7:30. We'll see you. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. Thank you, Jason.
God bless.